Hello, my beautiful sisters. Hello, 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 and welcome to Elder Council. We have quite a few, hopefully you can see me okay, we have quite a few new members of Magical Sabbatical, which is really cool. And this is, I would say, this is probably our most important session of the season. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about, can everybody see me okay? Okay, good, you can see me. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Elder Council before we get started because I really wanna ground you in what this is. And even if you've been through Elder Council many times, I don't think it hurts to hear what Elder Council is, how we approach this space and so forth. I am a little weak tonight. I had a very severe stomach flu. I'm still recovering. This is pretty much my first day with food. So I'm trusting I'm going to get through tonight. I have tea and I'm feeling okay. So I'm definitely not 100%, but let's see. So Casey's saying it's very echoey. Can you guys hear me okay? You guys hear me all right? If you can't hear me, let me know. You're saying there's an echo. I would try your headphones because we haven't changed anything in terms of the audio here. Are most of you able to hear okay, or is everybody getting an echo? Can you let me know that? Thank you, Charlene. I'm so glad that you guys are here tonight. So you can hear okay? Everybody's okay? All right, cool. So let's talk about Elder Council. I'm going to smudge a little bit just to get us started because I haven't smudged today, and normally for me, I smudge 3 and 4 times a day. So for me not to have smudged today just tells you kind of how busy a day it was. I'm not the kind who gets sick and really stays home and gets better, but I had to do that this week. It's crazy. And the entire office has had it. Literally everybody here has had it or has it right this minute. So we really passed it around real good. I felt bad too because literally everybody I talked to in the last week has gotten it from me. So I'm trying to incubate myself and not expose myself too much if I don't have to, but that's hard. So just smudging, clearing out any unwanted or stuck energy. One of the things that I appreciate you guys and your well wishes so much. One of the things that you really want to do before you enter into a ceremonial space like Elder Council is you really want to focus, center yourself, bring your attention into present time. Take a moment just to notice if your attention is being pulled somewhere else. Like, are you sitting here but thinking about what's happening later tonight, or are you sitting here thinking about what happened earlier today? Like, really try to bring yourself into this moment, releasing anything that is concerning you or that you're worried about, releasing any expectations of where you need to be right now other than right here. And really give yourself the gift of this time. Like I said, we don't do Elder Council very often, and I think it's just as powerful if you do it when it's recorded, but there's something really extra special for me anyway about doing it when it's live. And so that is the power and the beauty of being here together. Let's talk about some tools for tonight that you should have, just so that while I'm introducing the concept of Elder Council, if you want to go and grab everything or anything that you need, you'll have time to do that. Okay, good. So tools for tonight. What I like to work with is Elder Council perfume. I have the old version sitting here, which had my original label, and then I have the new version that has our SG label on it. So I'm never without Elder Council. If there's one, honestly, if there's one perfume that I think you should own, it's Elder Council, because you'll use it. I use it every time I journey, but you'll use it every time we do Elder Council, and then probably anytime you do very serious ritual work, whether it's in sabbatical or outside of sabbatical. Elder Council is one that very serious practitioners come to me for. And I'm not even talking about sabbatical members. I'm talking about people outside of this group who really do heavy duty ceremonial work, shaman and priestesses and people who, people you would recognize actually, come to me almost exclusively for Elder Council. I'm working with ceremonial tobacco. I'm going to be working with 10 perfume tonight because I'm working with energies for the new year. And then I'm working with initiation, which is the new perfume for Sanctum. If you haven't gotten yours yet, you should get it. Initiation it's funny because when I made the bottle of initiation, it was almost black. And now that I've bottled it, it's brown. But initiation has some really darker oils and essences in it, much like Elder Council does. And the combination of initiation with Elder Council is unbelievable. So that's what I'm putting on right now. When you get your initiation, try it with Elder Council. As it was, I really designed it to work with Elder Council, with Elder Council in that way. And add a little bit of 10 to it, the mix for this year. By the way, we have all new bottles, partly because Sage Goddess has lots of copycats, and I was tired of seeing people copy our bottle design. So I had bottles made for us and all new caps. So nobody has our new caps. So we have caps in almost every color now. And then we have new square bottles and new roller bottles. So it's an exciting year. And all of our new bottles have stainless steel rollers. Isn't that cool? Instead of the plastic ones, these are not going to leak. So we really upgraded our bottles for the new year. Very excited. Yeah, so no matter the Elder Council formula will never change, has never changed. Has never changed, will never change. Yeah, so and Casey's right. You don't have to use any of the Sage Goddess blends. I just talk about them because they were made for occasions like this. But if you want to work with patchouli or frankincense or Palo Santo, those would be very nice essential oils. Portal is always good. The Way is always good. You know, the Way of the Priestess is very much like Elder Council. It is a multi-purpose perfume. I don't know if there's Elder Council on stock. You guys let me know, and if it's not there, I will make sure that I add it back into inventory. I know we have it made, but I don't know if there's bottles in inventory right now. Okay, and then for candles, tonight I'm using the Dance with the Ancestors candle. Did you guys love this? This is one of my favorite candles we've ever made that has the damberite and then all the stones all the way down the middle to black kyanite. So I'm starting a new one there. I'm working with my Terra candle tonight because I'm working with compassion, and we'll talk about that tonight. I'm very guided about what tonight's Elder Council session is supposed to be about. So I'm going to walk you through that in just a second. But my Terra candle, which you have, a lot of you have, I'm burning a new Terra candle, or my other Terra candle is on our healing altar. So I didn't want to take that off of there. So I'm going to choose to work with that here. And I think that's it. Oh, and then my stones. So this time, every time I go into Elder Council, I charge up stones, and I ask that the guides download any remaining wisdom. So anything that I don't receive in the ritual, I ask the guides to transfer into some stones. So tonight, I'm going to work with this little quartz dodecahedron. 12 is a sacred number, by the way. Dodeca in Greek is 12. So dodecahedron has 12 sides. Where the name comes from. Helps to know other languages. If you have your totem candles, that's fantastic. If you have like your spirit animal candles or your spirit guide candle, would be another one that'd be great. Pam is using a white light, tea light. Absolutely brilliant, really, and especially to anoint that. It's great. So you guys are in good shape. You can work with a double terminated wand, which is nice in Elder Council because, again, it creates sort of an energy vortex and allows you to send and receive energy. So this becomes a transmitter. I'm going to work with a piece of the scepter quartz that we had in the shop a couple weeks ago, which is very powerful. It's a priestessing tool from Lemuria, and then the dodecahedron to capture and hold some of the wisdom from the session tonight. Do you guys have any questions before I introduce our work for the evening and the focus as well, which I think you're going to love? Oh, a Vogel for sure, Charlene. Absolutely. Absolutely work with a Vogel. And you can actually work with your Vogel and ask the guides to show you where and what needs to be extracted. Right? I mean, ask the guides to activate that Vogel for you tonight. Ask them to make it a powerful tool for your healing work, and ask them to show you what and where needs to be released and activated. Remember, Vogels are extraction tools. So they're designed to extract any energy that isn't serving you. And the guys are very wise. You know, a lot of times they can see that impacted energy or that compacted energy that needs to be released, you know, in ways that we can't see. Oh, crystal skulls for sure. Evelyn asked about that. She has an active one called Rosa. Definitely grab the skulls. Lisa, yeah. Well, you know, we have to kind of work with artificial light when we are in the winter season. So if I turn too many of them off, it's hard to see me. If I turn too many of them on, I'm kind of overlit. So, okay, any other questions before I introduce what we're doing tonight? I just want to make sure you guys feel settled, that you have everything you need, because I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to feel like you have to run around and grab anything. Kristen said she's got a crystal flame. That's fantastic. You kind of can't go wrong. You know what I mean? You kind of can't go wrong. You can use 2 wands for sure. And again, if you have a new tool, this isn't a new tool, but let's say it was, you could activate it through Elder Council. So if you got something new and really special for the holidays that you want to ask the guides to activate, you know, and to pour their energy into and to work through on your behalf. Oh, Chimpies for sure. Chimpies for sure. And again, there'll be a time I will stop and I'll say this is the time to gather your tools and ask the guides to activate them. So just anything you think you might want to have, I would just grab. If you don't use it, that's fine. You know, you don't have to use everything tonight, but if you think you might want it, I would grab it now. Just putting my Palo Santo incense cone over here so it doesn't, I'm actually going to move this over here. Those little Palo Santo incense cones are no joke. Those things start burning and they don't stop. Okay, I've got my drum. So let me talk to you about Elder Council. I'm reading your comments really quickly. Yeah, you can always try it again. So that's the nice thing is you're going to have the recording. So let's say you can't watch live tonight or you get interrupted or let's say you're very sick. You shouldn't do Elder Council when you're very, very sick. Let's say any of those things are true. You can always watch the recording later and it'll be like, you know, just as powerful, I think, in my opinion, as if you were doing it right now. So don't worry if that's the case for you. For sure, for sure. Oh, I love that, Evelyn. Okay, cool. So that's one of the things that shaman do is activate stones. A lot of people bring their stones to me to be activated. I bring my stones to one of my teachers to be activated. So, and that's a whole ritual process that we'll probably talk about in Illumina. It depends. If people want to take Illumina in more of a shamanic direction, then we probably will talk more about things like activation and extraction. If people don't want to go so much the shamanic route, which would be fine with me too, then we'll kind of adjust our course and go in different directions. It just really, you know, I'm going to take the temperature of Illumina when we start and see, you know, are people largely wanting to go down sort of a shamanic path, or are they wanting to explore things that are sort of multidisciplinary or multi-tradition, and I'm okay with that too. Okay, so welcome, welcome. Is anybody here for the first time? Like this would be your first sabbatical session. Can anybody just say, hi, I'm brand new. I would love to just welcome you if that's the case. Yeah, and I may, you know, it's sort of, shamanism is where I've been called. If you notice, you know, a lot of people want to put me in a pagan box, but I'm not pagan. And so, but people struggle because they don't know, they're not familiar with shamanism and in any of the traditions really outside of Wicca. So if you dress like I do and you work with crystals, people just think that you're a witch and you cast spells. But there's a lot more to spiritual practice than that. And so what I really want to work with the folks in Illumina on next year is understanding the complexity of traditions, you know, and practices and countries and ways of thinking and being and working with energy that are very diverse and take us down many different paths. I mean, even within shamanism, it splinters out and becomes very complex. You know, even shamanism isn't this really, you know, coherent container. So we'll talk about all that next year. Okay, so Allie says, Sarah and I are both pretty new. That's fantastic. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you. So anyway, if you are new, just say, hey, I want you to know I'm new and I will welcome you. And Kristen, you know, we'll come back to all the big questions when we start the process of Illumina, because I really would like to speak to that. And I do think some traditions require extensive training before you really take on a name. For example, I would really suggest that you would be training for decades, maybe before you would consider yourself a shaman. It's in my experience, people don't just say, well, I'm a shaman because now I say I'm a shaman. I mean, usually People who consider themselves to be shaman have gone through an extensive process, which includes an initiation that is different from a priestessing initiation. A priestessing initiation is something that you choose. A shamanic initiation is something that is chosen for you. So part of what I love about shamanism is you don't get to choose, but that makes it difficult too. So we'll talk about that. Blaine is here for the first time. Trisha is here for the first time. I think Melanie said this was her 4th time. So I just want to welcome you. So glad that you're here. Okay, I know. Well, and I'm here to answer all the questions. So, when we pick up in February and we start the new programs, because Sabbatical is going to get a little bit of a reboot. We got brand new gem and aromatherapy classes, and then we're starting Illumina. I really want to start by digging in and answering questions and talking about where you guys are, so I can meet you where you are and then level you up to where you want to go. So let's talk about Elder Council. So Elder Council is a session that we do 4 times a year in Magical Sabbatical. And I have been doing Elder Council since I started Magical Sabbatical, which was about 5.5 years ago. Hard to believe that we've been going for 5.5 years. And so Elder Council, the best way I can explain it is Elder Council is a space that exists in the outer realm. So this is a space that exists on the astral plane. And what I mean by that is it's not in our plane. It's not in the material plane. This is on another level of consciousness where a place like astral or the Elder Council exists. For me, accessing Elder Council is very much like accessing the Akasha or the Akashic records. That exists on an extra plane too, and we can access it. It's not immediately obvious how to access these places because they are outside our realm of waking state consciousness. So you have to go into a meditative state and then you can access it. Evelyn says she calls it the other world. Yeah, I call it the outer realm. So that's just you'll hear me say that phrase quite a bit. I think there is the inner realm, which is your inner world. There's the material realm, and then there's the outer realm. And in the outer realm is where we access these spaces where the guides live and come and gather. It is different from the Akasha or the Akashic records or the library, as some people call it. Because it's not just the storehouse of information. This is actually a space that you come to commune with your guides. And so when I was first told to take sabbatical members into Elder Council, I was given ground rules. So the ground rules are as follows. I am not to take anyone but sabbatical into Elder Council. I never have, so I've always honored that agreement. It's very sacred to me. The second agreement is every time I do it, I have to tell you, even though you guys are very, very serious. So when I tell you this, it's not because I think that you don't know this. It's because I was told in meditation I have to say this every time, so don't take it personally. But I've been told to say every time, you have to come with a matter of gravity. You have to come with a question. And the way they described it to me is this. The question, something has to hinge on the question that you're asking, okay? So it has to be a big question, like, should I go here or there? Should I choose this career or that career? Should I marry this person or not? Should I have children this year or not? Should I, big questions, okay? But let me tell you what's interesting about tonight. Oh, and Melinda, I want to welcome you. You're new, and so I'm so very glad that you're here. Love too that new people are able to find where we are and like all be together. We don't have any technical problems tonight, so that's fantastic. Although we've been really, really good, I think, since we've started using more of the Google Hangout as opposed to the other platforms. We really haven't had any technical glitches. So anyway, I want to welcome you, Melinda. What I was told about tonight is this. You ready? I was told to, and these are open-ended questions or yes, no. So you can ask whatever kind of question you want. I was told to get my tarot candle tonight because tonight's focus is to be compassion. And tonight's focus for the session, and I'm gonna caveat this in a minute. So Ali, I'll come back to your question. Tonight's focus is supposed to be on healing within you, and the word they used was the womb, healing the womb tonight, okay? And when I asked for clarification, what I was told was, tonight we're healing your own inner child, okay? Tonight we're healing your relationship with your mother if needed. Tonight we're healing your relationship with your children if needed. And tonight we are also healing and looking into and seeing where you need to be taken care of, where you need some tenderness and some love. And so we're going to be turning this inward to ask for deeper levels of healing and compassion for ourselves. I know, believe me, when I got this message about tonight, I burst into tears. I really did. They're not usually very specific, okay? So there's something here for us in this context of the womb, something here for us to heal within. And like I said, this will look different for each of you, whether it's, your own, issues with your mother, your own mothering, your own need to be mothered, maybe. A lot of us are in that boat where we don't so much have challenges with our mother anymore. We've healed a lot around that early mother-child experience, but a lot of us still really feel like we wish we had that mother energy. And for me personally, I've shared this before, but it's been really hard work in my life not to try and make other people into my mother. Like, could you mother me? Could you mother me? Could you mother me? I did that for a long time before I realized that I'm the only one who can mother me. And so I need to stop looking to women in my life to take on that role. And so my relationships improved. I developed a different level of strength. This is probably about a decade ago. But a lot of us don't even become consciously aware that we're doing that. I'm really glad that this is striking a chord with you guys. Let me go back and make sure I've read all of your questions before I go too much further. Okay. Yeah, and I mother everyone too. I mean, let me tell you, if you are somebody who mothers a lot of people, I feel like I mother the universe. I really do. I mean, I feel like everybody's my child, and even people who aren't old enough to be my children or who are, older than me sometimes. I mother women and I mother men who are older than me. There's a lot of maternal energy around me. But again, we have to watch that because that can become codependent, and we don't want to be put in that position. The reality is, none of us really are mothering everybody. That's not our role or responsibility. We can't heal those wounds for everybody. And so I feel like, I appreciate that. I do. I love to be in that maternal role, and I do love to take care of people. So I have to watch my own impulse. And because I didn't have a great mom, I strive always to be like the best possible iteration of what mother could look like. Like if I'm taking care of you or if I'm loving you, I will try to be everything that you need. And yet that's a falsehood too, because I can't be everything to anyone, really. The only person I can be everything to is me. So there's a lot of healing that all of us have to go through to get to this place where it's like, I am not everybody's mother. I still have needs within myself. How can I turn this within and really figure out how to provide that for myself so that I don't walk around with that wound kind of gaping open in my life? Okay, so I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Since we're working with a focused intention tonight, keep in mind you do not have to ask a question around mothering tonight. You do not have to ask a question around compassion. So if you already came with a pre-formulated question, I want you to stay with it, okay? This is just, if you want to know what energy was in the field, that's what's in the field right now. So if you want to tap into what's already sort of bubbling up, that would be my suggestion for you. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Doors and portals in the womb. Yeah, and it's, very much, and especially for those of us who are menopausal, issues of the womb come up because we are retiring the womb, right? I mean, the womb is actively dissolving for us. And so what does that mean too? It's like questions around that. Like, for some of us, we have healing around the fact that our mothering years are over and we're heading into that crone phase. And so we have to really embrace what that means for us, the maturity, the responsibility, the end of a certain phase of our lives, but really finding the empowerment in that. I mean, I find so much empowerment in the sense that that time in my life is over. Because interestingly for me, the period of motherhood, because I had, and we'll get started in just a minute, but just to give you a sense of where we're going, because I had really severe postpartum depression, especially with my daughter, that was not an empowered time in my life. my early mothering years were very difficult. And I feel like a lot of women are in that boat. A lot of women suffer very privately and very deeply with postpartum depression. And because our society doesn't really like to talk about uncomfortable things, we suffer a lot in silence. So I think if that's you too, if those mothering years, especially the early years, were really challenging for you, then I think looking at some of that tonight could be very, very helpful for you. Yeah. It was hard for a lot of us. A lot of us had to shed that phase of our lives like skin so that we could move on and transform and rise like the phoenix. Yeah, and then we returned to that place. I mean, even this week being so sick, I was like, gosh, I wish I had my mom. I think all of us, when we don't feel good, crave that mothering. And it's funny because I was laying there, I was so sick the other morning, I was laying there, and Pushita sent me an email. And I happened to just open it, and it was a beautiful recipe for, this really healing broth-based soup. And it was just like, that felt like love. You know what I mean? Love can come to you in many different ways. It could be someone thinking about you, or someone, creating a gesture that feels like that maternal kind of open, available, tender, compassionate love. And I think if you can find ways to receive it that are really healthy, that don't make you codependent, but make you appreciative of how people show up in your life and the gifts that they can give you, Anyway, so big kiss to you for sending that. I was very touched by that. Okay, so close your eyes. I want you to take just a minute, take a nice deep breath. Never just take one deep breath, because the first one's always shallow, so do that again. Let's do it one more time. And really call your energy into this moment. And guides, I ask that you come close, that you surround us tonight. Begin to surround us. We call in all of the guides, the ancestors who have crossed into the light, who have healed their karma. Any ancestors who have healed their karma are welcome to join us this evening. We ask you to come closer. Guides, we ask you to surround us. Spirit animal guides, we ask you to crawl and slither and fly closer to us this evening. Angels and archangels, beings of light, we ask that you see our circle tonight. Great Spirit, God, Goddess, the one from which all light emerges, the single point of creation. We ask that you see us tonight, that you bless our circle. And I'm going to imagine that white beam of light extending out of our left hands all the way around the circle, coming back to us in our right hands. And as I do that, I want you to imagine sending out your own individual beam of light just to surround our circle as the ancestors and the guides and the archangels and angels come closer. Ascended masters, great teachers, those who are nameless and formless, those who are pure spirit, and we invite you to come closer. We invite you to fill up the room. We invite you to fill up our hearts. We invite you to make yourselves known to us. You go by many names, those who we call upon this evening. We're so grateful for your presence. We come to you with humility and with gratitude this evening as we open the space and the container for Elder Council. We come to you this evening with questions of matter, questions of import, questions upon which much in our life hinges and depends. Questions about compassion and mercy and how we can find deeper healing to bring a sense of fullness and fruition and completion in our lives. We open ourselves to you tonight. We make ourselves available for whatever needs to come through, whatever messages, words, symbols, anything you need to show us tonight to facilitate our steps down our path. And we ask you to make those messages clear. We open our hands to you, and we ask that you hold our hands. And for those of us who are tired and weary, we ask that you put your arms around us this evening. And in fact, that you teach us to stand taller, roll our shoulders back, walk like the warrior queens that we are. Empower us, embolden us, give us the tools, give us the wisdom, give us the space and the assistance that we need. Guardians of the Eastern Gateway, we ask you to accompany us to Elder Council this evening. Fly with us like the great eagle. Soar with us over land and sea as we make our journey tonight to connect with these incredible spirits, guardians and gatekeepers of the Eastern Gateway. You are here with us. We are grateful for your presence. Guardians and gatekeepers of the South, we ask that you travel with us tonight to Elder Council, that you give us the courage and the bravery that we need to face the difficult questions of our lives. Help us to understand the direction and the trajectory. What is the plan? How do we get there? And for those of us who are weary, bring your fiery courage to us, South. Help us to work with Coyote. Help us not to take everything so seriously. Help us to see the frivolousness and the fun and the laughter and the joy and the lightheartedness of our walk with Spirit. Help us to know that even the Spirit guides laugh. And so we must also find a way to keep humor as we make these serious and dedicated moves in our spiritual practice. Guardians and gatekeepers of the South, you are with us tonight. We're grateful. Guardians and gatekeepers of the West, we ask that you journey with us tonight to Elder Council. We are so grateful for the wisdom that you bring. Mother Ocean, pause for siren. Mother Ocean. We feel your tides pulling us, Mother Ocean, to uncover what is hidden within us. We know that this will be a year when good enough is not good enough. We know that you are pushing us to excel, to complete our training, to become masters of our domains. And so, West, we ask that in service of this, give us the emotional strength that we need to face our challenges and our fears. West, we ask that you wash away from us anything, any baggage from last year, any baggage from the past that isn't serving us. Take all that extra weight off of us, West, and wash it away with the tide. Guardians and gatekeepers of the direction of West, you are here with us tonight, and we appreciate you. Guardians, gatekeepers of the direction of North, we ask that you travel with us to Elder Council tonight. You are the resting place of our ancestors. You are the tree people, the guardians of wisdom. Show us what needs to be seen tonight. Show us what we need to understand in order to improve and evolve. Show us our blind spots. In the North, we come to understand how wise we are and yet how much we still have to grow, how much we still don't understand. In the North, we find grounding, safety, protection, and rest. Guardians and gatekeepers of the element of Earth and direction of North, we are grateful for your presence here tonight. And so it is that the four directions and elements are held. Our circle is open. We are ready to journey together. So I'm going to light my candles. You are welcome to do the same. I'm going to first light my ancestor candle. Of course, the first stone on the ancestor candle is danbarite, and that's because the work of the ancestors is to heal us forward and backward. You are not supposed to leave this lifetime without healing something that your line did or created before you were born. And keep that in mind. The karma that you create is karma that your ancestors will have to undo. Sometimes I think about that when I see people creating huge karmic caves in this lifetime, and I just think it's really selfish because it's not just you who has to undo all of that. It's your children and your children's children and your nieces and your nephews and all the way down their line. So really just focus tonight. And I want you to, I really do want you guys to support each other in the feed, but I also want you to really focus on going inward now. This is your journey, okay? So be completely focused in this moment on your question, your energy. The quality of your journey right now is going to depend on how focused you can be in your own energy field at this time. So pull all of your thoughts inward, pull all of your energy inward, completely focus on your question and your needs right now. There's plenty of time where we need to hold and support each other, but right now the time is yours. And so I want you to really take it and take advantage of it. So I want you to roll your shoulders back, put your hands on your knees with your palms facing up. And tonight the ancestors have asked me to take you into the jungle to meet with you. And the reason they said is that the jungle is the mother. The jungle is the womb. The ancestors told me that they see the jungle as the place of our birth and rebirth. And that for many of us, the return to the jungle, the return to South and Mesoamerica is a return to the earliest imprinting of mother energy that we might have. Part of it is, I believe, that much of Lemuria comes from below the equator. Much of the Lemurian energy resides down there, and that, of course, is the original mother. They call Lemuria Mu, which means mother. So as we travel, as we fly like the condor or the eagle, as we fly south and head toward that beautiful jungle, and I always imagine the Amazon and that beautiful river leading to the jungles of Peru, to Costa Rica, whatever country is speaking to you for your journey tonight. As you wind your way like the anaconda, as you wind your way along the rivers, down into the deepest, darkest heart of the jungle. And I want you to notice, sometimes when we head to the jungle in meditation, the temperature in the room will change. All of a sudden it'll feel warmer and a little more humid and a little sticky. That's exactly where I'm taking you. So I want you to start to feel the temperature in the room increase, the energy around you shift. And when you're in the jungle, you're in the land of instinct. In the jungle, there are no signs to direct you. So all that you have is your intuition and your inner knowing to guide you. It's dark and it's wet, and so you have to rely on your other senses. And as we head into the depths and the darkness of the jungle, I want you to sense that there's a guide coming alongside you as you walk. It's a familiar energy that's coming to escort you the rest of the way to the gathering place. And I want you to sense that this energy, this being who's coming alongside you, you may not even be able to see this person or this being, this energy, but you'll sense it. This is an energy of someone who knows you so well, someone who loves you, someone who's been expecting you, someone who is so excited to see you. It's been many months since some of us have been in this space, and some of you have never been here before. I want you to rest in this moment of knowing that you are in the right place at the right time, and you are being supremely guided as we come to the final gathering place of the ancestors for tonight's session. And as you continue walking with this guide, almost becomes sort of a rhythmic dance that you're doing together. You might be locked arm in arm as this being guides you through, and now you just feel carried. Now you don't even have to think about the way. The way is showing itself to you. And that's how it is with all of us on our path. For a while we feel like we have to really chart that path and really figure things out, and then later on we realize that path is charting us. That path is figuring us out. And so we really have to do nothing except just show up to the task of our lives, show up to the session tonight, and the rest of it happens and unfolds in perfect time with a divine intelligence that is beyond explanation. And then as this beautiful spirit is just guiding you, it's almost like gliding you along the floor of the desert or along the floor of the jungle. And I want you to sense and notice trees and tree limbs, and you might hear the rustling of leaves. Notice if there's dirt under your feet, if there's a path or not. Notice if the leaves of the trees and the vines and the branches are circling up over your head, maybe crisscrossing above you, making almost a canopy as you walk through. And then all of a sudden, the guide that is escorting you and gliding with you through this space pauses and pulls back a little bit. And as you open your eyes, you see this incredible clearing in the middle of the jungle here. This incredible expanse. And it's almost like something came through the jungle here and just pushed the trees back, pushed the bushes back, pushed all the limbs out and up and away to create this beautiful gathering space. And if you look along the floor of the jungle right here, there's a circle of stones, huge stones, boulders almost, that have been carved out into beautiful seats. And so as you look out of this circle of stones, I want you to step forward and take your place. Find one of the beautiful stone seats and take a seat there. And as you do, invite all of the elders and ancestors now to come forward and join you. And slowly, if they haven't already, they'll begin to come out of the shadows, the corners. And your guides and elders and ancestors, if they're anything like mine, a few of them are formless. You'll never see them. They are pure spirit beings. And so they don't have an incarnated form to show you anymore. Those are truly the ascended masters and the ascended beings who've shed any kind of human form that you would recognize. So please understand that if you're anything like most of us, at least half of your guides will be invisible to you. But that doesn't mean that they're not downloading, transmitting, translating energy and experience to you. They very much are. They don't have to talk to you or even show themselves to you in order to transmit and translate their wisdom to you. And then there will be forms and shapes and guides that you do see and you do recognize. And those could be spirit animal guides. Who's showing up for you from the spirit animal kingdom? Is snake emerging for you to teach you how to slither through, to teach you how to increase your accuracy, to increase your vision, to be able to move more fluidly in your life, to move more fearlessly. Maybe bear is showing up to bring strength. Since bear is such a powerful representation of the mother energy, maybe mama bear is here to protect you. Maybe jaguar is here. Jaguar lives here in the jungle. And jaguar brings a sense of quick and fast intelligence, the ability to move quickly, the ability to translate quickly, the ability to see in the dark, the ability to move in a stealthful way, the ability to remain protected and safe. Who's coming forward for you tonight from the spirit kingdom, from the animal kingdom? And then which ancestors are coming forward for you tonight? Since we're focused on compassion and mercy, you may find more of your grandmother energy here, great-grandmother, down the maternal line, the matrilineal. You may find down the patrilineal, father's mother, father's grandmother. Maybe the great medicine women of your family are showing up tonight. What wisdom do they have for you? And one of the important questions that I'm sensing that we can ask tonight is if you have inherited anything from your mother's line. And that can be a physical condition, an emotional condition, a mental condition, a spiritual karma that you've inherited. Let's bring up whatever that is tonight for healing. Is there anything from your mother's line that is available for healing tonight? That's a question you can ask the guides tonight. The ascended masters, who is coming to support you? Archangels and archangels, who is showing up? Just let them emerge with no expectation, just a sense of openness, curiosity, acceptance, appreciation, love. Just be open to whatever is arriving for you. And so now that the circle has opened, and those beings who have come with such love, with messages for you, have all gathered around the circle, I want to give thanks for those ancestors, spirit beings who have so graciously come on your behalf this evening to respond to the question that sits on your heart tonight. And I want you to take just a moment, and you can choose different ways to communicate. You can choose to speak your question out loud and then see what the answers are that come. You can choose to just hold your question in your mind, just connect with the energy that way. And guides and ancestors, I want you to acknowledge the woman who has come before you this evening. She's come bravely, with courage. She's come with a question that sits on her heart this evening. She's come to bring issues up for healing because she's ready to heal her line. She understands that part of the role of being a priestess is that we can no longer be bearers of the sins of our mothers and fathers. We have to bring those issues and those transgressions up for healing so that our line remains pure. And so as I drum for the next few minutes, I want you to listen. I want you to engage. I want you to notice who makes eye contact with you. And just let the information, let the wisdom flow. Don't have expectations. Just close your eyes and be in the space. And trust that even if you're not seeing anything, you are being communicated with in a powerful way. Words are very human. They're very mortal. In the spirit world, we don't use words. We don't have to. So we have other ways of communicating with each other that's far more powerful. So aho as I drum. Now I want you to take your stones. If you're working with multiple stones, I want you to hold them in both hands. If you're working with just one stone, then you'll want to take that in your non-writing hand and cover it with your writing hand. But if you're working with multiple, and I'm working with multiple, you can hold them in both of your hands. I want you to close your eyes. And guides, ancestors, archangels, light beings, spirit masters, all those who have gathered here tonight to share your wisdom with us, we thank you. I ask that any wisdom that you could not share during the session tonight, whether it's because you're not ready or we're not ready, I ask that you transmit and download that information to our crystals that we're working with tonight. Allow those crystals to become record keepers of this information, to become storehouses of what needs to be known that isn't available to us right now. And guides, we trust that you will make this information available at just the right time, in the perfect way, in a way that we'll understand, we'll be able to work with. So grateful for the wisdom. I love knowing that they are there to support us at every phase and stage, even at the times that we are not ready to see yet. They can already prepare a place and a space for that wisdom in advance. So grateful tonight. And guides, I ask at this time that you please activate any crystals and tools that we are working with tonight, amulets, talismans. If these have stored wisdom in them that we are ready to work with at this time, guides, please activate, release this information, translate this information to us. If it's been encoded or encrypted, help us to translate, understand, and receive those messages. Show us the codes, show us the information, peel back the layer for us now. What is it for 2017 that we need to know that maybe we weren't ready to see in 2016? Where are the places in our life that we can bring a deeper and more committed level of compassion and awareness in 2017 that we weren't ready to explore in 2016? What parts of our bodies and our minds and our souls are available for healing now in this new year that haven't been available for healing in the past? Help us to shed layers, to shed time, to shed fear, to shed resistance to the surrender. Help us to shed discomfort. Help us to shed misunderstanding. And guys, for the last part of our journey together, I ask that you send your energy to each woman in this circle. Send the energy first to her heart space, healing her heart from any heartbreak, any loss that she has experienced, any place or pocket in her heart where there is sadness or grief. Help her to see how beautiful and powerful and loved she is. Help her to see how truly appreciated and needed she is. And guides, I ask that you turn the faces of everyone in her life who needs to see her more clearly, turn their gaze to her now, and help them to see her in the light of pure spirit and pure beauty and pure being that she's in this moment. Help everyone around this woman to see her as the perfect, magical, creative, sensual, beautiful, brilliant, possible woman that she is. Turn all of the gazes to her tonight. Send gifts of abundance and healing her way. And wherever that anxiety sits in her heart, respond to that anxiety tonight, guys. Soothe that anxiety, remove that anxiety, heal that anxiety. Bring her the peace that only the spirit side knows. And then I want you to send all that love and that energy to her womb space tonight, whether she is maiden, mother, or crone, whether she is mother to children or not. Where are her own womb wounds tonight, Great Spirit? What needs to come up for healing tonight around procreation, around her own sense of mothering or motherhood? If there are women in this circle who are in need of mothering at this time, fill their hearts with the love and the compassion and the mercy that they need to show up fully for themselves, to help them to be strong anchors in their lives, help them to know that they have everything they need within, so that when they search without, it's not an empty search. And then guides, I ask that you surround each woman in this circle with additional guides for this year who will walk with her through 2017. Maybe supply her with a single guide for the year. Maybe she needs multiple guides. At this time, if there are any women in this circle who need additional support and assistance in 2017 to do this healing work, please dedicate those guides now to her. If it's possible, show those guides to her now. Or if you need to wait, perhaps bring those guides to her in dream time. If she needs to know their name, if she needs to know what gifts they bring, make that information available to her now, or translate that information and transmit it to her crystals. I'm going to take just one more moment here to give thanks to those beings who showed up for you this evening, to the council. Lift your gaze and look around that circle of stones. If there was any guide that you wanted to connect with in the circle that you haven't yet, just take a moment now to make that connection. Sometimes it's just eye contact or a nod, or just a knowing that there is some kind of force or connection between you. We give thanks for the love and support that always exists in this place, and we know that we can always return here. Elder Council exists as a space for us, and we know that. We're so grateful to be seen and to be known. We know that those beings who come to Elder Council know us better than anyone in our lives right now. They've known us for millennia, for eons. They've known us since we had no form, and they'll be there when we return to spirit, when we cross the Rainbow Bridge one day. We give thanks for your presence here. It can be very hard to leave this space. It's always hard for me. So I want you to take one more moment just to bow, give thanks, express your gratitude. If you've been given any gifts or any symbols or signs, just make note of them now. You don't have to write anything down. Just notice, what did they give you? Is there anything in the palm of your hand? Did they draw anything on the rocks? Just take a quick look around. Guides, if you have anything else to give to this woman before she leaves the space, please give it to her now. Maybe it's a tool or a sign, an amulet of some kind, something to represent the next phase and stage for her, something that she needs to walk with grace on her path. And when you are ready to depart the council, the circle, just rise from your stone where you've been sitting. One more bow to the circle. When you're ready, you can just take a few steps back. And as you do, the guides and ancestor spirits will rise as well. Guides, guardian angels, master spirits, ascended masters, angels and archangels, we give thanks for your presence this evening. Grateful for the wisdom that you have shared and the support that you offer. We release you from Elder Council and from this space with gratitude. Aho. Until we meet again. Until we meet again. And when you are ready to leave the space, you're going to turn and begin your walk back toward the jungle. And your silent guide who guided you and glided you back down to this beautiful clearing is going to guide you back out of the clearing into the deep jungle where we began. And begin to feel yourself moving away from the space, moving away from the light, more toward the darkness, the dark depths of the beautiful jungle floor. Feeling the thickness and the stillness of the air as you walk and move. Being so clearly and beautifully guided by this spirit who brought you here. And we give thanks to our guide who led us in and into and through the jungle, for showing us the way. There's always a pathfinder. Thank you for being our pathfinder tonight. And when you're ready, just gently bring your attention to your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Turn your head from side to side. And just very gently, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Very gently, when you are ready. What a sweet, sweet journey. A hard one for me to leave tonight, I have to admit. It's a hard one for me to leave tonight. And so roll your shoulders back, just gently bringing you back. I'm going to open our circle. It always goes by so fast. So that beam of light that I sent around was clockwise, called Deo Cell, in the direction of the sun. So we're going to release the energy of the circle Widdershins, which is against the grain, against the direction. Just letting that circle unwind itself counterclockwise. Energy will return in your left hand. We always send that energy down to the center of the earth. And great guardians of the north, ancestors who came to be with us this evening, we're so thankful for your presence, thankful for all the wisdom that you hold and that you show us, that you mirror to us. You always mirror to us a greater, more powerful version of ourselves and what's possible. And we aspire to be what our ancestors hoped we would be. So thank you. We really I release you from your service to the circle with gratitude. Guardians of the South, we thank you for the courage. We thank you for the levity that it takes to do this work with grace. We release you from your service to the circle with such gratitude. Guardians, gatekeepers of the East, tonight is a new beginning for many of us as we release a lot of karmic wounds and karmic debts. Allow us to feel the lightness in our hearts and in our wombs as we show up to the role of motherhood, both to mother ourselves and to mother those in our lives who need us. We release you from your service to the circle tonight. We're so thankful for the new beginning that you brought. And with that, our circle is open. Our circle is open. Janine, I'm so glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I'm reading your comments. It looks like you lost me for a minute, but you guys are back. I'm so glad. That's okay. Melanie says her dog is licking her tears, and sweetheart, if I was there, I'd wipe them for you. That would be a good mama to you, but it sounds like your dog is showing up for you in a powerful way right now, which is so beautiful. Well, you know, we may, you know, now that our sabbatical format is changing just a little bit here in the new year, if we feel called to do elder council on a monthly basis, we might want to consider doing that. So we'll see. We'll see what this tenure brings and whether we need to have more access to the guides as we pursue this work of mastery. You know, so like let's feel into that and see what that could look like. I'm so glad. Wait, where's that comment? Who said they were there? Valerie said. Your guides were there, Valerie. I'm so excited for you. I know some of you have, said like, oh, what do I do? They're not there. I'm not seeing. And just, the more you do this work, the more you're going to see. And sometimes, like I said, I have quite a few guides who are not visible. I can sense them, but I can't see them. So anyway, don't worry if you don't see, if that makes sense. So beautiful. And it's wonderful. And a lot of you had mother energies show up for you tonight, which I think is really powerful too. Oh, that's so sweet. Colin had Mama Bear, first time. And I'm not surprised. They're, oh, it's interesting. Kristen saw the stone seeds before I even mentioned it. Beautiful. Having Cobra show up is so beautiful. You're very welcome. So beautiful. And even if, like Haley said, she saw very light silhouettes, that's very normal. What you have to do, here's the thing about meditation, and I'm really trying to expand this understanding for people. You have to let go of your expectations as a human and understand that that realm looks nothing like where we are. It doesn't look like where we are. So time is different. How things look is different. You can see spirit guides that have a human body and an animal head, or no body and an animal head. You can see all kinds of combinations too. So try to let go of your expectations of what you're going to see. And you'll find that if you do that and you really allow yourself to see what is there, it'll be a more powerful experience for you. Yeah, Rachel, it's funny. Rachel says she tends to have more cats, like big cats, and I do too. I don't know. They just tend always to be like, I end up with a lot of jaguars, a lot of cheetahs, a lot of like the big cats show up as guides for me. It's beautiful. And panther for sure. Tara said she sees sisters. She's not sure who they are. Tara, I would take that into dream time or into meditation and ask to be shown. Like when I read your comment and I saw three sisters, I immediately thought Maiden Mother Crone, or maybe like the three faces of Hecate. It feels like triple goddess energy to me. So I would want you to kind of, push into that a little bit and see if you could get clarity in meditation. That's so beautiful. Deb had owl come, which is owl is sort of a natural journey creature, because owl can see in light and in darkness. Owl can see 360 degrees. And so the owl is a very helpful totem animal to guide us through different journey experiences. So beautiful. So I take it you like elder council. It's beautiful. I saw my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. I always see my paternal grandmother. I hadn't seen my maternal grandmother there before. And she handed me a pearl, and her name is Pearl. So I thought that was really beautiful. I haven't seen her in elder council. So tonight, that was kind of a special experience for me. It's really neat. It's a beautiful space, and each time is different. So tonight is sometimes the energy is a little darker and a little more mysterious and a little heavier. Tonight was a little lighter and felt a little bit more like a hug. I really think because the guides themselves set that intention of compassion and support for us, I think they brought us more of a divine feminine energy tonight in the circle, which I really appreciated, because sometimes it's a very masculine, sort of heavy energy. So that's beautiful, and it's beautiful for me to hear you guys and witness you having that experience too. So good. Yeah, Erin was saying that it was lighter for her as well. I love that. Sophia said, my message was, love is not a weakness. I love that so much. Okay, so I'm going to blow my candle out. I'm going to thank Tara for her energies of compassion and mercy. So grateful, because that energy was so present tonight, wasn't it? Energies of Tara, wouldn't you say? And then I'm going to thank the ancestors and blow out my ancestor candle. May the healing continue for all of us, and may you feel divinely supported in all that you do. Amen, aho, so it is. Amen, aho, so it is. And then what I want you to do is kind of like, I know we've gone over time, so thank you for staying with me for the few extra minutes. I want you to consider journaling right now. If you have a little bit of time tonight, or maybe you have to do it later, or get the kids to bed, or get your hubby to bed, or get your partner to bed, and journal. And some nice questions to ask would be, what does it feel like for me to be held? What does it feel like for me to show compassion? What does it feel like for me to heal any issues around mothering or motherhood? Who am I as a mother? Who mothers me? Or you can ask yourself a question like, if I were to mother myself well, what would that look like? If I were to show up fully for myself as a good mother, what would I change about my life right now? Like, these are powerful questions for you to sit with. And maybe it would be a change in, how you take care of yourself, or how you think about yourself, or how you talk to yourself. And again, one of the challenges for us as women, I think, is we automatically want to do this for everybody else, but you need to do it for you. You really need to do this for you first. Then if you feel called, you can hold this space for other people. But if you can't anchor this and ground this in practice for yourself, you really don't have much to offer anybody else. You have to be whole first. Put your air mask on, and then you can put the air mask on other people. And I'm saying that to you with love, because that's what I'm working on too. I mean, I'm trying to really do this work for myself so that I can show up fully in the world for other people. And I think that's why we're here. And that's going to allow you to do something in a really sustainable way, versus just burning yourself out. And you'll see that people who have not done what I'm talking about, they burn out. Their fire shines really bright for a very short period of time, and then it's out because they don't have something to keep it lit. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. I'm going to let you go in just a second. The one thing I wanted to tell you is we are going to do an in-bulk ritual in Sabbatical on February 1st. And so in case you missed the video in the classroom, the in-bulk tools are in the shop today. So you will want to grab your in-bulk candle. I'm actually going to print this art. Lillian made this image for the candle. I don't know if you can see it. She did this original art image of this woman reaching up from the ground toward the light. It's so gorgeous. So I'm going to actually print that, I think, on little canvases, because I just think it's so gorgeous for you maybe to hang on your altar. And then there's the in-bulk perfume and the in-bulk gemstone set. So if you want to celebrate in-bulk with us and have the tools, I will put the link in the classroom for you too, so that you know where to find those. It's Bridget, everybody. Can you believe the wheel is turning again? It's hard for me to believe that you have 2 weeks to gather tools for in-bulk. Time is going by so fast. So, okay. A fantastic question, Anne. So Anne is asking, when is the class info going to be detailed? So the classes are going to launch next week. You'll be able to register next week. You will not be billed until February 1st. And then on the 31st of January, everybody will be, I'm reading your comments too. Everybody will be taken out of all of the programs. So you don't have to cancel anything. I'm going to cancel everybody on the last day of January. And then on the first day of February, you'll be billed. But I recommend registering for the classes next week when they open. But just know your credit card is not going to be charged. You're already in Sabbatical for this month, so there's nothing else. Does that make sense? So Charlene, all the classes are the same price. And it's less expensive than this year. So there are 4 different classes. And I believe what we're doing is $20 a piece. So if you want to do one class, like just the gem class, it's $20. If you want to do just Sabbatical, it's $20. If you want to do the aromatherapy class, it's $20. I'm just trying to make it really, really simple. Because otherwise it gets too complicated. Like if this is one price and this is some other price and all this stuff, so I'm trying to make just one. If you want to do everything, that would be an easy way to do that. If you want to do just one, that's okay too. So Heather, there are 4 classes because I'm doing a 3rd year of Priestess. So there is aromatherapy, gemstone, Sabbatical, Illumina. But the 4th class is only for people who completed. And Pushita, I want to know what happened. Can you tell me what happened? I missed something in the feed. So if you completed Pillars of Priestessing and Sanctum, then you're eligible for the 4th year of that. Does that make sense? Okay. Rashida, I want to make sure you're okay before I sign off. Oh, something blew up for her. I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay. It's always scary when stuff like that happens, but in my experience, there's rarely nothing too profound to it. So hopefully you're okay. Yeah, so you'll want to finish as much of Sanctum as you can before joining Illumina. So, and if you have questions about what that looks like, just send me a private message and I'll be able to support you and get you all that information too. Yeah, I try to make it really easy next year. And then that way, if let's say you sign up for 3 classes, but later you're like, oh, I just want to do sabbatical, all you have to do is drop the other 2. It's not like they're not all connected, you know? So it's like, and since they're all the same price, it's like just 1 or the other or 3 or whatever you would like to do. And then there are tools. So there's a GemWise set of tools each month. There's an Aromagic set of tools each month, a Sabbatical set of tools each month. And then Illumina is going to have PDFs in their classroom of like materials so they can print it out and make a book of shadows or a grimoire if they want. So I'm glad Pushita is okay. Okay, so we really went over time, but I didn't want to rush us. I really wanted to have kind of a slow, relaxed experience. And it's good to be able to answer your questions too. So Charlene, so when you sign up, it's just going to bill you on whatever day you sign up each month, just like Sabbatical does now. But we're using a different member program now in the new year that's easier and cleaner. So yeah, Angie, there's going to be some kind of something that covers all. So let's say you want to do all the classes. It's not going to be called Pentacle, but we're going to figure out something so that there's like an umbrella program for people who want to do everything. And by the way, if you do Sabbatical, GemWise, and Aromagic, you're going to continue to have your 15% discount, even though the programs are less expensive this year. So I thought that was kind of a fun bonus. You're very welcome. Yeah, no, it's this really is my last go, I think, at public teaching, live teaching like this. So I really want to make it easy and fun and affordable and all the things for this last year. I love you guys too. I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for nights like this where even in the midst of kicking off a new year, and I know how busy all of you are. I mean, I keep up with you on Facebook and I see what your lives are like. I know it's crazy right now. So for you to be able to take this time tonight and sit with me for an hour and a half and really, you know, dig deeply into your own spiritual work, I'm huge bow because that's a commitment. And that's what this year is about. This year is about you doing exactly what you just did, which is say, I'm going to do this work. I'm going to stop putting it off. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to step up. I'm going to ask for guidance and support. And I think the blessings are going to be boundless for you this year. I really do. I believe that with all my heart. So I am losing my voice a little bit. So I'm going to sign off for now. Send you lots and lots of love. Have a fantastic weekend. Don't forget in bulk tools. If you want them, they have to come soon or they won't arrive in time, especially if you're international, you want to get a jump on that. And I will see you soon. Good night, my sisters. Thank you for the healing love. I really appreciate it. I'll see you soon.